Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United front.
Tell it.
What you want, what you want, what you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when you're square solid and you circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we give the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick the can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginnings turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K, 1K.
All right, peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Knowledge Radio. Place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born Alive, and we are here with a lyrical, poetical mastermind, hip hop royalty, one who has sojourned in this game for 30 years or more and has left a mark forever etched and stained on anyone who ever wanted to pick up a microphone. We got Medina's own. We got Brookyln Dodgers on. We got Mr. Steal Your Girls on from Juice. We never forgot that. You understand? So we in the midst of the party rocker, the mic rocker, the mic checker, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Special.
Peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace to all, peace to the gods and the earth, peace to everybody that's attending, that's tuning in to these waves right now.
Pioneer, man. Glad to have you here. Glad to actually, be in your presence, man. And I grew up listening to you. You understand what I'm saying? I grew up listening to you on my brother's turntables, man. Shout out to my big brother, man, DJ Rich Will, man. A legend on the microphone, on the wheels of steel. You see
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Glad to have you here. How you been feeling, man? What's been going on?
Man, I'm good, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor, man, to be recognized and appreciated, even in these times, when everything is so trendy, you know what I'm saying, and trending. So it's just an honor to still be thought of as I often, I just have to think that it's over 30 years now, and I'm not like putting out records every year. So it's not like it's something that came out last year that was a hit that people, I was on a movie, or, you know what I mean? It's just respect and love for my movement, and my music is what started it, obviously, but I think more so it's my relevance in our whole culture. And I think it's necessary. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, your story begins, according to the research, 89, 16. So does it go back a couple of years before that? And, how do you sink in to, giving us what we got, in 89?
Well, let's get the math right. The math is 88 on I Got It Made on a single. And if we want to even go further than that, the album was completed in 1987. It got I recorded the album at the age of 15. I went through a 1 year long court process to sign the contract because I was a minor. So there was a procedure that they had to follow through with, and that took about a year. So by the time the record actually came out, I was 16. So we just doing the math. So I was 16 in 1988. That's when I Got It Made came out. And then the album followed up a few months later in 89. So that's where everybody is, keep saying 89, but they have to remember I recorded it at 15 and it came out when I was 16. At least I was on the radio. I was doing shows and touring and doing all that when I was 16. So, I know what the year was. But the album itself, for argument's sake, probably did drop in 89. I just don't have, big memory bank left. You know what I'm saying? It's full of other knowledge.
Right. Right. That's real. Loving that. I'm loving that. So you come out in the same year we're introduced to Rakim.
hmm
What was that like? That feeling of ushering in the '90s with you have to pick up your pen and talk about something. We went from there was party raps, it was a bunch of jams and all of that to you know you Rakim Kane, that era you had to pick up that microphone and say something. You had to be about something to usher in, Public Enemy and you know Tribe and different things like that. What did
For
it feel like
me,
for
I
you?
think it was a great opportunity because of the era for one, and the time and the effect that it had on people. But what I would like to add is that back then we competed in a healthy way. We
Mm,
competed to be more knowledgeable, to spread more awareness, to empower more. We competed in a way that was healthy. You know what I'm saying? We competed to make people have knowledge of self and understanding of real history and facts, and not, you know, base it on, what we were lied about, what we were lied to about. So that was the thing. Everyone had something to say that was positive, something that was a message, something that was some science. Not everyone brought their spiritual beliefs into the music, but there was some sort of positive message, period, regardless whether if it was religious references or not. It was always positive. And there was stories and there was playful rap, but the thing is that the artists had social responsibility. They still got together and they still did self-destruction. They still advocated against things such as domestic violence, drug abuse, the crack era. There was a lot to rally against. So I think we pretty much spoke out against everything we could at the time.
right. Stop the violence. Speaking about against apartheid in South Africa, yeah, like a huge global social responsibility. Everything was going on. That particular climate was very heightened. That sense of awareness and that ode to self. I think that many of the rhymes that we heard young was like reporting. You know, we that's where I learned about what was going on anywhere. Everybody told the story about where they're from and what they're facing. You see what I'm
Right,
saying? And then you gave us the power to dream beyond our circumstances. Just as rap was ushered in, with the Sugar Hill Gang. Like, you gave us a chance to dream again. You see what I'm saying? Like, literally a positive mantra. Like, I got it made. You see what I'm
right,
saying? Like, and we living in abstract poverty. We going through this thing of the lash, and here comes a positive mantra for us to uplift ourselves. You see what I'm saying? To have something to strive for, to reach for. You know, from someone that was in our peer group. I think you did a magnificent job. You know,
yeah, I appreciate
magnificent.
that,
You
man.
understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and
Like,
really that was the intent. That was the intent, man, because let me tell you how this go. I grew up under the notion that we weren't promised anything, and we more than likely wasn't gonna amount to anything if we did survive. Like if we lived past a certain age, like we was on that, trying to get to 21 thing
Right.
as kids. Like that's what we were taught growing up. So it was almost like, damn, shit rough out here like that. So you know, just in my searching for knowledge and searching for understanding of why was it like that and why were they saying that, we wasn't going to amount to anything, and we either dead or in jail, and stuff like that. And to me, I was like, nah, y'all bugging. What's that about? So that's when I started to seek knowledge of self and start to get some sort of understanding of who we really were as a people. And what I found out is that most of us have no idea. And not only do we have no idea, but on a personal level and a generational level, we really don't know. You go in a room full of minorities and they don't know their lineage, their ancestry. And you go in other rooms and they all know. So you have to understand that, we're very displaced, diffused, disillusioned, and distorted. Actually, we have no real understanding of our true self unless we seek that knowledge on our own, because we will never learn that in this country. Period. Nowhere in this country, like in the education institution, will we learn that. Not in this education institution. Yeah, so that's what it's about. So I started seeking myself even in elementary, even as a youth. So what happened, I remember clearly too. I started studying lessons just to understand. And remember now, I'm Jamaican, so my family is
Right.
from Jamaica, and I was born in Brooklyn, but I have a brother 1 year older. He was born in Jamaica, so my family is Jamaican. So basically, I went to school and started to kind of seek stuff. And Jamaican, they Christians and 7 Day Adventists and stuff like that. So I start learning things and understanding a little bit more. These type of things I never heard before. You know what I'm saying? I'm like really intrigued here. And then one day I was eating some candy. I was eating a big bowl and it had yellow number 5 in it. And somebody stepped to me, and they made a big deal about the shit, and I was like, all right, well, I ain't know what. So they acted like they was trying to put hands on me or something after, trying to, how they do that shit. And I was like, oh nah, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So we turned back to the street shit, and I was like, all right, well, this was popping off now. All that and all that, I do what I want. I'm a free being, and I'm Jamaican. How about that? So we gonna cancel all this. And I just started studying on my own. I ain't need nobody to supervise and micromanage me and try to threaten me, because I ain't with the threats. You know what I'm saying? I got 4 older brothers, and we was scrap happy. So it wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to let them know that it wasn't gonna go down that way. So, and this is elementary school, man. I'm talking about that freaking elementary, man. Like, that's how real it was. So anyway, I went to school with some of the ups like Buster. He was Taheem at the time. That's his that's his personal business. But all in all, I went to school with some cats that we all know and love, and grew up with some cats that we all know and love. And and we got to understand too, from the beginning of hip hop as well. I started by listening to like the Supreme Team, Just Allah, Superstar, C Divine, Mastermind, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, so I know about all that. You know what I'm saying? And um just coming up in that era, staying up, listening to those shows, especially once again, WHBI, and Awesome Two, and all the little shows that came on in the wee hours. and then we had to stay up to watch hot tracks and shit like that. So, you know, it was the time. It was a time of understanding and getting to know ourselves and who we were as a people. Because until then, we was just, you know, we was just people with very slim chance of success or survival, as far as
Right.
I heard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Unfortunately, though, you know, along with that comes how we are treated as a people out there in the streets. And, you know, unfortunately, even as a youth, I face a lot of police abuse in my own community, in my own home, on my own block, in my own street, you know, like in my school. Man, I was freaking handcuffed and abused in a school on the school premises as a minor. You feel me? So yeah, man, it's real. Until you experience these things, you know you don't really know shit. I'm gonna keep it
Right.
funky because you in a bubble, thinking that life is sweet. You know these people are here to protect you and save you and this and that and the third. Well, you need to know a little bit about their real purpose and who they work for and what their purpose is, and historically what their purposes has been. And then when you understand that, you look at things differently. But you know, I just have a different perspective based on my life's experience.
That's right. So how did you convince your Jamaican parents to let you sign a contract to be a rapper?
Well, they really didn't have no idea what was going on. I was recording, doing all of that stuff, and then when I got the deal is when I told them. I wasn't really, you know, telling my parents about no rap. They was
Right.
like, look, they'd have looked at me like, rap, go wrap the dishes up. You know what I'm saying? Go wrap up the garbage and go, you know what I mean? So anyway, when they got the contract from the record label, that's when I told, you know, True Blue management that they can come to my house and talk to my parents. Because before that, I wasn't talking to them. I wasn't talking about no management contract. I was only talking about, you know, a record contract, and obviously both at the time. But it wasn't like, hey, I got managers. No, we want to know I got a deal. So once we got the deal, I just did everything and nipped it all in one. But you know what I mean?
So your
Even then, they really didn't even grasp the concept. They didn't know what it was about or what type of success I was going to achieve until they started hearing it on the radio, on Hot 97, on BLS. Yeah, I think 92 KTU was out then too. Yeah.
so your first year as an artist, you spent this in court for the right to be an artist. You know, you very rarely hear these kinds of conversations, you know, in regards to that. So how
Well,
were
yeah,
you able
my
to navigate that and, you know, like still maintain?
well, at the end of the day, I was a student in high school, so it wasn't really much maintaining, but usual hanging out, hustling a little. You know, I had my little hustles, and I used to cut hair and stuff like that at the crib, like just, you know, pocket money. Good too, you know, haircuts. Then they had the shadows and the parts
Right,
and all that, so that was extra.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But just, you know, maintaining it and going to school, trying to get out of that whole situation.
From like a mental, emotional, spiritual perspective, like you're coming into yourself as a young man and you're navigating these challenges. It looks like there's a door that's open, but it's coming with some stipulations. So, you know, from that perspective, you know, how were you able to overcome that?
Myself, just by remain. You hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah. You got me?
Yeah,
Somebody's
I
trying
hear
to
you.
call.
Yeah, it might have messed up your sound a little bit on your
Yeah.
end.
Hold on.
Everything probably got low.
I might try to call my phone and my audio went out. Hold on. You probably might have to bring me back in.
Yeah. So yeah, we get into it right now. Special ed, Mr. I Got It Made, the Magnificent, Brooklyn Zone, Medina Zone, right here. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in. Shout out to Jazzy J, something for the coach and my brother Samuel, man. Let's get our brother back in. Let's get back to the combo.
With the phone rang and my audio dropped out. I couldn't hear nothing. But anyway, um, just staying grounded, man. But and like I said, my prior understanding of the situation. So when you start studying and you start seeking the truth and you start seeking knowledge, you start finding the truth everywhere, and not just religious truths, because religion is based on mankind's depiction of the word that they receive. So you have to actually just do that knowledge. You have to understand what you're hearing, the information that you're receiving, and form an educated opinion, man. Really, I don't never blindly just jump into no fire with nobody. I don't just believe it. Everything everyone says, I don't believe that anyone is the direct transmitter. I think that everyone may have their areas of knowledge and where they specialize, but at the end of the day, I listen to my inner self and am what I'm told. You know what I'm saying, by myself and by God through me. God talked to me. You know what I'm saying, direct. I don't have to. Nobody else can't tell me what God is saying to me, because God to talk to me straight like that, and He can't tell me. I'm not listening to nobody talking about God ain't talking to you. Come on, man, stop it. God mad at me? Nah, He ain't mad at me, and He ain't punishing me for somebody else's wrongdoings. So I communicate just fine. You know what I'm saying? And so the bottom line is I don't really subscribe to a certain particular religion or story by any man. I form my own spiritual bond, and I just do what I know is right, not just for me, but for everyone on the larger scale and the bigger scope of things. And I think that that's always the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So as long as I'm doing the right thing, then I'm keeping my energy positive. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's how I live my life. Now that's why, you know, I'm blessed.
Right there. So your first album comes out. How you feel finally? On your born day, the joint dropping. How do you feel? Like, what's your sense of accomplishment? Where you at?
Man, it was a relief. I was like, damn, finally. Because all this time I'm sitting around for a year while everybody's putting out records and everybody's putting out music. And I know my shit is hot. I'm like, yo, my this is fire. And I'm just sitting around listening to people drop records, drop albums. And I'm like, damn. So it was a little frustrating just the process, but I knew that when it was time or when it dropped that I would be recognized. And the other thing was that being with Profile Records, I know that they already had the capability to market and promote me the way that I wanted, because that's what I did. Like, this situation is not a situation where, is a luck of the draw and I was discovered by anybody. Nah, I discovered how to obtain success. That's what I did. So I went and sought it. I went and found, I knew how he produced. So I went and approached him and made, the connection there. My cousin, they used to live across from my cousin's crib. So they took me over there. My DJ, I knew he DJ'd. We grew up together. We went to school together. So we linked up and locked that in. You know what I'm saying? I waited, got some management to go shop the deal. Well, actually, those was Howie people. You know, True Blue. Shout outs to Tank, Tony, and Terry. You know, True Blue. They shot the deal and got that deal with Profile. So once they did that, then I brought them to my parents and said, "Okay, it's real now." You feel me? So I had to orchestrate the whole thing first before I even legitimized it with my family.
That's amazing. That's some serious. I don't know if you remember that movie Fresh from back in the day.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, you just described like a whole chess match with Fresh. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
his
well, that's
pops in the park. You know what I mean? Like you really put it together like that. You know?
I had to. I mean, I was 15 years old. How else was I going to get it done? You know what I'm saying? I had to find a way to get it done at my age and get taken seriously because there wasn't no other little kids with records out. And I'm like, damn, if I'm gonna do it, because I wanted to be on a Fresh Fest. You feel me? I wanted to be in Madison Square Garden in a Fresh Fest with Run DMC and Houdini and the Fat Boys and Curtis Blow.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And that was my goal. That's why I went hard. And ultimately I never got to be on a Fresh Fest, but I achieved my goal of success as an artist. So you know that was great. And in addition, I was on the same label as Run DMC, which was a dream for me. It was like, man, look, this is
Mm.
success right here. But you know, I didn't know the business side though. I just knew what I saw on TV. I knew they was had some big ass chains. They was coming down in helicopters. And I mean, you know, I know it was
Right.
optics because this is what videos consist of, is all optics. But I figured they did enough, and that was enough of a budget to show me that they cared to market and promote their artists correctly and to give them a great look. I mean, you know, that wasn't their helicopter, and you know, they didn't fly in a helicopter every day, but that was a great look, you know, just in their videos in general. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a little more than just on the corner rapping. Anybody could do that shit. Garbage can on fire. You know what I'm saying? Shooby doo wop. But Run
Yeah,
DMC, they raised the bar on that whole, you know, video game, marketing game.
definitely. Definitely. And you snuck in there and you gave us some serious bangers off of this first project right here, you know, from start to finish. And then you gave us the positive mantras, man. Like, I got it made. I'm the magnificent. You know what I'm saying? Like that was
Well, that's what it was about, man.
yeah,
I was trying to uplift people, man, because it was a time it was the crack era, man. It was bad
right,
out there. You know,
right.
even going to school, man, it was a whole different experience. I felt like I was going to damn near a day prison going
Right.
to school. You know what I'm saying? So it was a whole nother mentality then, and we was just trying to get out the dark. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to see some light. So I tried to shed some light on the situation, and I think it worked. You know what I'm saying?
They was looking for that dog with the silver gold bone. You know what I'm saying? They was looking
Solid
for
gold.
that
Yeah,
solid gold bone. Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, yo, y'all think he really got? He said, yo, man, he got it made. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's it. That's inspiration, man. You know,
Right.
I got hope.
But
You
I
know.
must point out though, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say this: my dog had a solid gold bone, but I never attested to having no gold and
Mm,
no chains and no jewelry
that's real.
at all. So I
Wow.
don't, you know, you got to differentiate the level of success and what success looks like to you.
That's- And your rhymes are lyrically rich. You see what I'm saying? Like your wordplay, your art. You know, you gave us rich, you gave us imagination, you gave us creativity, and you gave us, you know, what they call bars nowadays. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, how
Yeah.
are you able to package all of that? You see what I'm saying? Make it fly, and then you came through with the visual, make it even flyer. You see what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
created a
Set,
personage, a new one. You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
everybody had their thing. Like you created your own personage.
Yeah. Well, it was all about originality. You know, it was all about how can you be fly and be relevant and be original. That's all we want to do, be original. Nowadays, they just want to like do the same shit. I don't know what that's about, but we all wanted individuality. When my record come on, you know it's me. When Kane drop, you know it's Kane. When Latifah drop, you know it's Latifah. When Slick Rick come on, you know it's Rick. You know what I mean? We all had our distinctive styles, qualities, sounds. You know, nowadays it's just like you're supposed to sound the same.
You said if the record is a crash, I could still survive. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like, what kind of mind frame you gotta have to be like, all right, even if y'all don't mess with this shit, I'm good. I'm still good. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
or if it's a hit, like if it make impact, boom, I'm gonna still survive. I'm not gonna change me. So that's what I mean. Like looking at it on both sides of the spectrum. You see what
Yeah,
I'm
it's double
saying?
entendres all over the place. You know, sometimes it be triple. You just gotta really sit down and think about what was said to you. Cause I got a lot of things in there that you know, unravel as the years go by. You really understand what I'm talking about. And division, like, you know, sometimes I say stuff or I write stuff or I'm talking about some stuff that people probably ain't even ready for. They don't even get it until a decade later, 20 years later, somebody pointed out, or something may unfold or unravel or reveal itself, and then you understand what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's
Trying
almost
to
prophetic,
understand
man.
what I said
I
it
ain't
at
even gonna
first, so
claim nothing.
actually
I'ma just say,
put it
you
in
know,
reverse.
right, right.
Yeah, I'm loving that, man. I'm telling you. Um, so what's the difference between your first album and Legal? You see what I'm saying? Like, with
Oh,
how are
my
you?
level of my thought process, my level of intellect, my understanding and of dynamics and how things are. You know, that gives you a whole different bunch of content. You know, that gives you a whole bunch of different lyrical content. You know, before I was being playful, getting a little scientific, a little mathematic. But
Mhm.
you know, nowadays I gotta hit them with some facts and some things to think about, man, because I think people really been in the dark for a very long time, and you know, it's unfortunate, you know, and I used to wonder why they say, you know, only a small percent of people, you know, this and that and the third, and 95% of this and that. And I'm like, damn, that's a lot of people blind, dumb, deaf, and blind. That's crazy. And now, you know, you try to help people or you try to point them in the right direction or tell them something that's good for them. And they just, you know, they so brainwashed. I think Harriet Tubman would have shot them. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Harriet
real.
Tubman would have shot them on the road.
That's real.
Yeah.
Who was you talking to and you're not so hot? Was you talking in general or was you talking to somebody specific?
Nah, You're Not So Hot was actually rhymes that I had in high school. Those was
Mm.
battle rhymes.
Hmm.
Yeah, those is definitely battle rhymes. I use natural resources, creating forces, so high potent that a sucker MC lost his ability to
Hmm.
function and he collapsed. So before you blink, just think that perhaps it could happen to you. Cause it can, my man. I'm gonna bag you up and put you in a trash can. Then send you off to the dumps, chumps. I'm gonna give you enough lumps in your cranium. Where he at, just name him. I'm gonna find him and come from behind him and take him and break him and bind him with a lining and a designing. Put him in the window when the sun comes shining in the morning. These singers don't understand.
Yeah, That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I can't help but think that you was talking to some people. You see what I'm saying? Because
Well,
some of
see,
the
I was
people
talking.
fit the
I was,
descriptions.
I was talking to everybody. That's the thing that people got to
Mm,
understand. Like when
okay.
in my era, it was battling. I battle anybody. I'm coming down your street. I'm talking to you.
Right.
You feel me? I'm coming down your street. I'm talking to him. I'm coming down any street. I'm talking to anybody that say they want to hear what it is. You want to
Mm,
hear it. You want to experience it, or you want to feel it. You feel me?
right.
So that's what it was. It was about battling anybody at the drop of a dime. That's all. Like those were the rhymes that was to be disrespecting somebody.
Hmm,
You know, there was rhymes that you used when it was like, all right, time to be disrespectful. And then there was
right.
some rhymes that you would build with. Like you'd be like, all right, we go. And then there's jokes, the rhymes you want to laugh about, joke
Right.
about, or you want to tell a story. So it's about being well versed and diverse with your content and not just, we didn't rhyme about the same shit. All my shit wasn't about like one thing.
Right.
I wasn't just rhyming about, my drug spot every record.
Mm,
You know, I didn't have a drug spot. But
right.
even if you made a record about having a drug spot, you're not going to make a whole album about having a fucking drug spot. Like, that's where it got really overdone. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I mean, you to be creative with content is one thing, but to overdo it and to
right.
run that shit in the ground, and you know what I mean? Like, you know, we already know it's fiction, but don't OD. Like it's CB4 style. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you go from these albums to getting into the super group that we may know as the Crooklyn Dodgers?
Tip Call. He was doing the song for Spike Lee's soundtrack, and he was getting the artists together. So he hollered at me, and I was like, hell yeah.
What did that space feel like? Did y'all record together, or was it just the visuals together? Like, how did it go?
Oh nah, yeah, we all came first. We all came to my studio, the Dollar Cab Lab in Brooklyn. Shout outs to the Dollar Cab, Arabs, all that. And then we went to Manhattan from there and mixed it.
You had Master Ace on. I didn't get a chance to ask him about it. I was concerned about the symphony for Master Ace. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And a
right.
couple other joints that he did. So I didn't get a chance to ask him. So that's that's iconic. For
hmm
me. And then to see it, I think repeated the next year,
hmm
what they did for Clockers.
Right.
Now,
And they did
before
part
we,
two with Chubbs and
right,
J. Rue
right,
and OC.
crazy.
hmm
So this happens, and
Where OC at, man? I want to hear. I like OC, man.
love those see.
Where
Real.
OC at, man? He need to just go ahead and do it because he want to do it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Because he was good at it and he was dropping some gems. I
Serious
like his
shit.
shit. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, obviously, Chubbs and all of them. Those are all my family, but I haven't heard from OC in a minute, and I would like to.
Right.
Right.
I reached out to see if I could get his story. Like the stories are so precious for me, especially in this time where you hear one day, you know what I'm saying, and you you return to the essence of the next, and nobody will know your story other than what they heard somebody say, that heard somebody say, that heard somebody say that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? So I'm
Right.
glad to hear your story from you. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, I see some biopic and some little Indian kid from Bombay is saying he's he's special ed. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, like to get it from you, without cut, and it's remarkable. It's priceless. You see what I'm saying? So to be able to share your story
Yeah. Just
with the
make sure you're
people, like
recording it because this ain't gonna happen again. Nah,
I
I'm
can
saying, you know
understand.
what? I don't really do interviews like that, man. Like, I actually literally just started taking interviews like last month. You know what I'm saying? And just because with so much going on in the world, and I just wanted to kind of have a voice and let some things be known and let my voice be heard, because I think it's a lot of despair and uh, negativity going around, and we need to some clarity. We need some peace of mind, and we need some understanding.
I agree wholeheartedly. So that's why on this platform, New Knowledge Radio, I found somebody to celebrate every day. You see what I'm saying? Their talents, their skills, their gifts, their dreams, their visions, their organizations, their outreach work, whatever it is, we bring them in and we celebrate them over here. So, like,
Yeah,
this is a space of celebration. Even if I don't feel like celebrating, I got the cultural mandate to invite a guest into my home virtually and celebrate them. You see what I'm saying? And uplift my spirits too. So when we get somebody like you, like I know, you don't do interviews. So I'm just glad that you took the time to share, your story with us because it's a remarkable one, and it can only be told by you. Everybody else will be friends. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right, right. To be a third party, it's secondhand story. So
Right.
yeah, so I've been doing a lot of things otherwise, man. I've been doing a lot of booking and things on the business side, and just kind
Mhm.
of putting things together. I've been doing some executive producing, some
Mm.
associate producing on some uh docs and film projects. You know, I have a company, Sem Media. I've been working with a lot of media, um, because especially with what's going on now, everything is, about content. Um, what else, man? I'm doing all kinds of craziness. I got a transportation company. What else I'm doing? What else I'm doing? Oh, I'm in the tech space heavy.
Mm.
Everybody, I don't like talk about everything all the time, but y'all gonna see I'm gonna be doing some things in the tech space that is gonna be out in the open, and then
What's
y'all
up?
can kind of see with that. But yeah, I just diversify, man. I'm philanthropic. I got a nonprofit,
Mm.
seal special ed arts and literacy. I'm waiting. I just put it together uh, within the last like 60 days. This has been going on though for the last 10 years. This is something
Mhm.
that I've always wanted to do, but being that I've been so busy, I never got the time to actually do it myself. So what I've been doing is just partnering with other organizations and nonprofits, and doing things with them, aligning myself with them and their goals. And now that I have some goals of my own, and in the areas of arts and literacy, I want to go back out there into the field and help some people, help enrich some lives, empower some youth, and send them out there with a newfound vigor.
Beautiful right there. Yeah, since this pandemic started last year around this time, it was I've been feeding between 50 and 150 children just in the community where I live. 5 days a week, one meal a day. You know, we had the summertime meals. You know what I'm saying? That held us down. We could go to a place in the summertime and get us a sandwich. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right, right.
um, you know, in this time, most especially, you know, the capitalization off of our youth, the recidivism, the creating of career criminals stem from something as simple as I ain't have nothing to eat. You see what I'm saying? I ain't eat all day. Fights in class, fights in school. If it wasn't for clothes, it was really like hunger was there. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm,
So you
hmm.
you ain't get you ain't get a meal at home, or you going through some hell at home. We don't know what's happening behind the doors in your home, but we see what's reflective in your behavior. And for them to criminalize things from that perspective, that's the least I could do with a couple of other people was help out some seniors and feed some youth. So it started, last year, and it just continued to grow into this year. So
That's right.
definitely out in the trenches, striving to do our part.
Right,
So
and that's
from
that's a blessing. That's why you gonna be. That's why you gonna be blessed. Because you bless others. So just keep doing the good work. And helping the community. And it always it take a village because it really do. It takes everyone to have their input and put their percent of love and care and knowledge and into a person. It's not just, two parents, it's everything. It's a culmination of the whole community and how they affect the person. Your neighbors, your friends, your teachers, your aunts, uncles, cousins, etc. So, we have to also remember that.
that's real. That's real. So is there anything, coming up that you want to call our attention to that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, be on the lookout for me. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what's going on, listen to what I have to say, because I ain't going to say it too much times. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say it and I'm going to keep it pushing. I've already reached out. I've already helped to enlighten and empower others. And I just hope that it's used in the right way, in the right context, and in the right light. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about.
Special Ed, I'm definitely thankful again for you coming over here to do the knowledge with us on Through the Knowledge Radio. This is another one of your homes. If you so desirous of coming back on and sharing what you got going on from any of your endeavors and how I could be of service to you and your cause,
Yes, sir.
shout out to MJ. I'm
Yes, sir. Shout out City
half a
the
step
Great.
away.
Yeah, shout out one of my artists, City the Great. What I've been doing is mentoring some artists and guiding them through this, navigating them through the landscape of this industry. And we have some really great groundbreaking things coming up in the near future. That I just want y'all to listen out, man. Anytime y'all hear the name Special Ed, y'all know it's me. Just listen up, listen to what I gotta say, because I'm about to teach something. You know what I mean? So just check me out. My social media is at Special Ed on Twitter, at Special Ed Music everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah. And he still got it made. Okay?
absolutely.
All right, so I appreciate your time, big brother.
Yes, sir. No worries, man. Enjoy and take care. God bless.
Bless. Honest to you and your family.
Peace.
Peace. That was the magnificent man, special ed. Shout out to MJ for the assist. Continuing to grow. Things is just gonna get better from here. Shout out to Samuel, Beach Bomb Brands. Shout out to my sister Jazzy J, something for the culture. Make sure y'all go check her out. Continuing to work. More surprises, more on the horizon. If you are looking to be a guest, looking to have a spotlight, make sure you go to www.youtube.com/radio. That's DOTHAKNOWLEDGERADIO. Check out both of our hub sites, www.donotsradio.com and also www.dtk.empoweryou. Follow us on Instagram at Knowledge Born Alive 357 on Instagram and Do Knowledge Radio on Instagram. On Twitter, it's at Knowledge Born 15 on Twitter. Uh, to get your interview slot here on the program, you can DM me any of those places or email me at dodonalsradio@gmail.com. We got paid interview slots, and we also have slots for show series. We're going to be premiering a brand new series this Saturday with my brother Red Fidel, the incomparable Red Fidel, adult contemporary hip hop. So it's going to be an amazing opportunity for you to come through, see what he got going on. A special guest going to be in the building. So make sure you tune in, tell a friend and tell a friend, and catch us live here 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Sun Goddess Chats, Sun Goddess Nation Chats, with Goddess Shelly Amaset will be in the building. So that, say peace, love, black power, and we out.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that. No more. This man's mind is open. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.